The winter that should have killed us. The sky turned black at noon. Not cloudy, black. Ash fell like snow for 6 years. Somewhere in southern Africa, a small group of humans watched the sun disappear. Almost everyone else on Earth was already dying. They weren't. This is the story of the Toba supervolcano. 74,000 years ago, it erupted with a force no human has ever witnessed. It choked the atmosphere. It dropped global temperatures for years. Some scientists think it nearly wiped humanity off the planet entirely. Genetic evidence suggests our species dropped to as few as a few thousand people. We were, for a moment, almost gone. So, here's the question that should keep you up tonight. If nearly everyone died, what did the survivors know that everyone else didn't? Let's set the scene. Before the eruption, early humans were already living on the edge. Small bands, maybe 20, 30 people. No agriculture, no permanent shelter in most places. Fire, but not everywhere, and not always reliable. Then the sky changed. Ash blocked the sun for months. Plants died first. Then the animals that ate the plants. Then the animals that ate those animals. The food chain collapsed from the bottom up, and most human groups collapsed with it. But at a site called Pinnacle Point, on the southern coast of what's now South Africa, archaeologists found something strange. A layer of ash from Toba itself, and just above it, signs of people. Still there, still eating, still surviving. Not thriving, surviving. So what changed? Here's the first clue, and it's not what you'd expect. They didn't hunt harder. They didn't build better shelters. They went to the water. The coast didn't die the way the land did. Shellfish don't need sunlight to grow. Tide pools kept producing food, even when the sky stayed dark. While inland groups starved chasing animals that no longer existed, the coastal survivors were prying mussels off rocks at low tide. It sounds almost too simple, a shift in diet as a hedge against the end of the world. But there's something else in that layer of ash, something that suggests they weren't just lucky, they were prepared. Researchers found tiny stone tools at the site, precise, deliberately shaped, some barely bigger than a fingernail. The kind of tool-making that takes real planning. Not the tools of people improvising to survive one bad season, the tools of people who already had a system built before the eruption ever happened. Which raises an uncomfortable question. What if Toba wasn't the disaster that taught them to adapt? What if adapting is just what they'd already been doing for the volcano and everything before it? Here's where it gets darker, because survival wasn't guaranteed even after the ash cleared. The climate stayed cold for years. Groups that made it through the eruption still faced something almost as brutal. Isolation. With so few humans left, scattered across a dying landscape, small pockets of survivors may have gone years, maybe generations, without ever encountering another group. Imagine being one of the last handful of your kind, not knowing if anyone else made it, not knowing if you're the end of the story. And yet, they didn't just survive, they rebuilt. Every human alive today, all 8 billion of us, may trace back to a population that small, that broken at that one moment. The coastal foragers, the shellfish eaters, the tiny stone tool makers hunched over tide pools under an ash-grey sky, with no idea they were the reason any of this, you, this video, the world outside your window, would ever exist. So, what did they know that everyone else didn't? Maybe nothing mystical. Maybe just this: when the familiar world collapses, the people who make it aren't always the strongest or the smartest. They're the ones already living close enough to the margins to know a backup plan when they needed one. The tide always comes back in, even when the sky doesn't clear for 6 years, even when almost no one else is left to see it.